Thank you for joining me for my comic book review for this week in July 2012. Got a lot of books to cover here. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, I said something on there. I said that for the first time, I've been doing this show for about 4 years now, and we are having a first here. This was such a good week for books. It was really tough to narrow it down to one pick of the week, but to me, in my opinion, I narrowed it down to 3. So for the first time ever, I have not 1, not 2, but 3 picks of the week. Why 3 picks of the week? Because it's my show. I can do what I want. All right. I'm going to start with Indie, and then go to DC and end with Marvel. All right. We'll start with Indie. We're going to start with IDW's Eastman and Laird's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Color Classics #3. What a mouthful. Now, I know I didn't review the first 2 issues because I just jumped on board with this. I have got the first 2 issues, and believe me, it's the same. It's the original Ninja Turtles comic books from the early 80s Mirage, just reprinted and colored. And it's just as awesome as it was back then, almost 30 years ago. And to me, the colors are stupendous. Love it. I love how they're re-releasing these classic issues. Yes, I know the classic stories are in trade. Some are in trade, but just like my student, TheMtVernonKid, I'm not really a trade person. I'm a single issue kind of person. I like to read the issues. I only buy trade if I feel like I absolutely have to. And I just never considered myself a trade person. But these reprinting these stories, I think, was a great idea from IDW, especially if you wanted to either reconnect with the fans who remember reading these stories back in the day, or if you want to grab some new readers and say, hey, this is what the Ninja Turtles were like when they first got started. And wow, it's really well done. The first issue, the bare bones, introduce the characters and kill the Shredder. Yeah, spoiler alert, the Shredder dies in the first issue, supposedly. But in the second issue, we're introduced to the Mousers, and in here, we get probably one of the best car chase scenes I've ever read in a comic book. And it's all due to a misunderstanding by the police, and it's just great. Love the dialogue in here. If you're a hardcore Ninja Turtles fan and you want to remember these stories, or if you think you missed out on these stories and you don't want to get the trades, then do yourselves a favor. IDW is doing you guys a favor. This was great. It's like I considered making this another pick of the week, maybe going with 4, but it's like these stories aren't new, so I kind of want to give it a pass. But I really loved reading this book. And kids, this was your parents' Ninja Turtles, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and spoil one thing here that's very funny. In a 2-page spread, in a 2-page spread, or I think it's in 1 page, where the Turtles are in their getaway van and everything, and you see in the background, you see a liquor store and a porn shop. You're not going to see that in any Turtles comic book now. But yeah, this was awesome. Very awesome. Alright, for my first pick of the week, it is, I'm a fanboy, Batgirl #11. Oh man, Nightfall Ascends. And I was thinking, when I hear the word Nightfall, I think of Bane and the Batman story and everything. I'm like, please don't tell me you're doing this to Barbara. And I'm like, okay, I like this. Gail Simone, I salute you. Wow, the dialogue in here is very good. To me, this is one of the stronger issues of Batgirl. Barbara's physical and mental abilities are properly represented in here. Loved the beginning dialogue, the introduction to Nightfall's henchmen in here at the very beginning, and Barbara's like, okay, which one of you wants to get your ass kicked first? I'm like, Yeah, great dialogue, great beginning, building up that fight. It's kind of like, it's kind of like one of those old-fashioned, Western fights. It's like, it's coming, and who's gonna be throwing the first punch, and I love it. I love that kind of style. The fight was really good. And did I mention one of the henchmen can produce acid? And I'm like, that's interesting. I like that. And Barbara's roommate is in deep shit. Real deep shit. And what's even worse, she has no idea. Why is she in deep shit? I will not even dare ruin that for you. But yeah, and near the end, Barbara's, getting some aid from a detective from the Gotham PD, and here in that scene is where you really see Barbara's intelligence really shine. As I said just a minute ago, Barbara's physical and mental abilities are indeed properly represented, and I really, really loved this issue. Don't want to say anything else because I don't want to ruin anything. This was great. Batgirl number 11. Opinions will vary, but in my opinion, that was awesome. Moving on. Batman number 11. The epic finale of the Court of Owls. I could have swore the series was called Night of the Owls. Oh well. Anyway, this is the finale. This is the conclusion that's been built up, and boy was I disappointed. Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. Pardon the bright light behind me. I have the windows open. The sun's trying to shine, but sorry if it's too blurry for you. For the so-called epic finale, this didn't really feel epic. I mean, it kind of felt like, okay. The reason why this book disappointed me is based on full nitpicking. Logically, on paper, the conclusion works, but logically not so much. The Lincoln March, aka Thomas Wayne Jr., the monologuing just dragged on and on and on. I know a lot of books can really pull off some old school monologuing, but this time it didn't work for me. It just dragged on and on. And there was a scene where it's like the monologuing continued, and I swear to God, Scott Snyder wrote this book to make it look like Bruce could perfectly hear Lincoln while being stuck in front of a jet engine. I'm like, that logically makes no sense. And Bruce was able to win by using, gadgetry and a cheap getaway to where you know that the Court of Owls will eventually return. And I'm like, oh my God, all that build up, the Court of Owls, they didn't bullshit. They didn't waste any time at the beginning of this story. Throughout this entire story, they instantly made it personal. They were attacking Bruce at Wayne Manor. They trapped him in a maze and nearly drove him to the brink of insanity. They had it revealed where where Nightwing could have possibly ended up being a Talon. All the tie-ins, all that build-up for this. Then the conclusion with Bruce and Dick talking to each other. That too looked really good, but the bare bones of it is the Court of Owls will eventually return. And I'm thinking to myself, this is another one of those scenarios where, we'll get them next time kind of crap. And I'm like, for this particular story, it doesn't work for me. I mean, oh man, all this good storytelling, and for what? Just get them next time, shit. And I'm like, okay, it's established that the Court of Owls will eventually return, and when they do, how can you possibly top storytelling like this? How can you possibly top the stories that built up to this? How? I really don't know how you can top that, and I don't really think DC honestly can. But I have been wrong before. But for a conclusion to Night of the Owls, or the Court of the Owls, or whatever the hell they want to call it, this really underwhelmed me, and I thought it could have been a hell of a lot better. The second story with Jarvis, Pennyworth, Alfred's father,
wrapped up really nice, and it kind of gives you one of those shit kind of endings, and it worked. The second story, in my opinion, was better than the first. You know, the excessive monologuing, the illogical plot points, it didn't work for me. It was good, don't get me wrong, but man, it could have been a hell of a lot better. Alright, moving along. Batman and Robin, number 11. First thing I want to say is, boss cover. Would you want to fuck with Batman if he looked like that? Peter Tomasi and Patrick Gleason continue their run on the series. This was good. The beginning of the book with Robin concerning Damian and Jason Todd, that was the best part of the book. The rest of the book, it was just okay. You know, you got Batman and Robin going around Gotham City, chasing around some crazy supervillains who are crazy because right now the plot points demand it. And we get some more interactions with, Terminus, I believe that's what he's going by, and his henchmen who are crazy, but we don't know as to why they're crazy yet. But I know within the next couple issues we'll probably get some backstory that we may or may not care for. But that's pretty much it. I mean, people are getting bat symbols, literally branded on their chest. I mean, burned into their chest, and Batman going around screaming, "Leave my city alone" and shit. And then a big boom, big surprise appearance of Terminus at the end, and that's pretty much it. To me, what sold me this book was Damian and Jason Todd in the beginning, and the rest was just, it was okay. I mean, it was all right. I mean, it wasn't bad, but then again, I've seen worse from this series, but then again, I have seen better. I'd say I would only recommend this particular issue to people who have already been following the series. To me, this is not a good jumping on point. That's just my opinion. It was good for what it was, but I just thought the beginning was better than the actual plot. It's just me. Alright, we got next up Suicide Squad, number 11. Flying the Unfriendly Skies. That is probably one of the most cliched, antique-like jokes that I have seen. And in here we get a kind of holy shit kind of surprise in the beginning of the book with a suicide bomber saying "Long live Basilisk" or whatever. And the squad lands in some sort of tribal village, and they're being treated like royalty at first. But the very beginning of the book is where we see some more good character development for Amanda Waller when she's with the Spanish guy. I forgot his name. But it was a pretty good interrogation scene, reminding not only him but the entire team about the bombs in their bodies and everything, that she's not afraid to just pop them like that. And get a pretty kind of depressing scene with Amanda Waller near the end of the book, but kind of leads to something that kind of interests me, and I like to see where that part of the story is unfolding. But for the squad themselves, don't want to ruin the ending, but it's definitely a cliffhanger that I didn't see coming. I was expecting they were going to get ambushed or something like that, but what I saw at the end, I did not see that coming at all. That kind of surprised me. Overall, this issue was good. It is what it is. It's a good series. It sure as hell ain't no Secret Six, but it tries. That's just me. Very, very good storytelling. Of course, Deadshot, best character out of all of them, and a cliffhanger that I honestly did not know was going to happen. Could not call it. Alright, we're going on to Marvel. Fantastic Four Annual number 33. We got Davis and Farmer on here. It's not a Jonathan Hickman book, but it is good. I believe that this particular kind of plot with what Ben and Johnny are going against are going to be in like 2 other annuals, and I'm not going to pick them up. So for what it's worth, I'm just reading this. Ben and Johnny, in the beginning, it was funny seeing them slobby, just seeing them, just slobs, leftover food just strewn all over the place. The Baxter Building's a mess, and they're sitting there watching movies, asleep on the couch and on the furniture and everything. It was just funny as hell. And then then they get sucked into some sort of like interdimensional time warping with some little kid named Vincent. And we see them go through all kinds of things. They go through Woodstock, Albert Einstein, and all kinds of shit. The prehistoric era. It's just jump to jump to jump to jump. And little Vincent is either a child or an adult or a child or a teen or something like that. Reading the story was a little tedious. And I hate that it's a $5 book. I hate this from Marvel. Whenever it's an annual, no matter who it's from, it could be an annual for Fantastic Four, an annual for Spider-Man, or hell, an annual for freaking X-Men. It doesn't matter. If it's an annual, it's gotta be $5. And I still fucking hate that. This book was good. I mean, it was kind of tough to keep up with the plot. But, for an annual, for Fantastic Four, this wasn't actually that bad. It obviously took place some time ago because we got Doctor Strange in here still with the Eye of Agamotto, and I could swear he doesn't have that anymore. So this obviously took place a long time ago, possibly before. Obviously it had to have taken place before Johnny died. But a good beginning, very tedious but enjoyable story, and a pretty decent ending. I liked it. I've seen worse, but all in all, I would only recommend it to the hardcore FF fans. There you go. Moving along, we got Scarlet Spider, number 7. All the power, none of the responsibility. I love that tagline. Kane trying to solve a mystery as to what's going on in Houston. What's going on? There's a struggle between Houston and oh shit! I done forgot the name of the city. Excuse me, just 1 second. I don't have a photographic memory. He gets a booty call in here. What is it? Oh, Galveston. Shit. And he's like, what's a Galveston? And the cops that he's known to have worked with is like, you honestly don't know that much about Texas, do you? And it's kind of got that, I think Kane might have accidentally jumped into a mob kind of problem with Roxxon Industries. And the dialogue in here is still very, very good. I mean, Kane is such an ass, and he knows it, and he's like web slinging through Houston. He's like, maybe I'll go fight some crime, I guess. And he went, man, that sounds stupid. I love the dialogue in here. But the ending of the book with the villains that are going to step in and fight Kane, I'm like, oh boy. The powers look good, but man, the costumes look hokey. That's just my opinion. This is still nothing but fun. This is a fun series, and I'm hoping Marvel sticks with it. It's what you would expect from Kane here. If you've known this character for a long time, you know he's an ass, but he tries. It's just fun. It's just fun. I can't put it any other way. Now for my second pick of the week. The second pick of the week comes for Spider-Man, number 3 of 5. Wow. I wasn't really expecting that much from this series, and You know, I just knew that Marvel was releasing this series along the exact same time the Spider-Man movie came out, and like, just milk Spider-Man all you can. Just put Spider-Man in everything. And in this, I was pleasantly surprised. It has been really good. In here, we see probably one of the biggest tricks from Mysterio this year, and he decides to have Pete and Miles fight pretty much a gaggle of Spider-Man villains. Some of them are 616 variety, based on their appearance, and some of them could be the Ultimate versions. You got both 616 and Ultimate villains fighting both these two Spider-Man. And yeah, this trick has been used before, but here it still works. It still adds to the dilemma, and Miles is like, if these guys ain't real, how come they still hurt us? You know, and it's just great. The Mysterio's pulling all the strings in here. Okay. Mysterio is still pulling all the strings in here. It's very, very well done. And Peter's going around Manhattan trying to figure out what happened to the Ultimate version of Peter Parker. And unfortunately, he does find out. I'm spoiling this. He does find out. And the very last page is what made this the pick of the week. Is what made this my second pick of the week. The last page is a moment that I was praying would happen, and it happened. I can't wait for issue 4. I can't wait. The storytelling better be good, Bendis. You got me hooked. I want to read issue 4 now so bad because of the cliffhanger. Awesome. This was great. Loved it. Now for my third and final pick of the week. We're going to Venom, number 20. Oh my god. This wasn't as good as issue 19 was, but it was damn close. And you see Venom struggling to keep characteristics of a hero intact, and you just really, really feel for the guy. Yet at the same time, you want to say, "Fuck all of them. Just go at him and just tear him apart." You know, you want to root for Flash to stay in control, but at the same time, you just want to say, "Fuck it, just let it all go and just tear them all a new asshole." And it's just great storytelling. Rick Remender and Cullen Bunn, they do a fantastic job. Medina's artwork is just great. Loved it. I was nerding out at the torturing of the human fly. I'm spoiling that. I'm giving that away. Oh, it's just great. I don't want to say anything else. When we get another one of those dun 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 kind of cliffhangers in here, I swear to God, Venom is one of the best things Marvel has got going, and I'm hoping that those rumors of a Venom movie that ties into the timeline of the Amazing Spider-Man, I hope those rumors are true, and Marvel, if it is true, give us Venom and do it right. But yeah, Venom, oh wow, awesome. I'm not going to say anything else because I don't want to ruin it. I feel like I already kind of might have ruined it, but wow, just wow. And now we're going to end on Wolverine and the X-Men number 13. This is another tie-into AVX, Avengers vs. X-Men. Jason Aaron and Bradshaw are still doing their work on here. Bradshaw's artwork is continuing to grow on me. It's not bad. I've seen better, then again, I've seen worse. But Jason Aaron does a great job with this. We see it's basically the Gladiator and the Shi'ar Empire going toward the school, and 4 members of the Phoenix Five are there to to fight with them and everything. And Gladiator is trying his best to get his son away from the Phoenix powers. His power is known to corrupt, obviously. I mean, the X-Men in here, in this particular issue, are further painted like villains. And in here, we see what they are truly capable of when the power is corrupting them. And oh my God, you thought the X-Men were villains before this? You read this and you just want to say, okay, fuck the X-Men. I hope the Avengers kick their asses. I have a feeling that some readers may start to grow that mentality after they read this, because we see 4 members of the Phoenix Five. Magique, I don't believe, is around, but it's basically, I think it's Cyclops, Emma, Colossus, and Namor. And in here, spoiler alert, everybody, they fight like fucking cowards. You got to feel for Gladiator here. It's 4 on 1, and the ending is not pretty. That's all I'm gonna say. Jason Aaron, you did a great job with this book, but man, part of me wants to say fuck you, X-Men, or at least the Phoenix Five. They fought like cowards in this issue. 4 on 1. Gee, I wonder who won. God. That's all I'm going to say. I'm done with that. That was a great issue, but man, was it heart-wrenching. Alright. Oh, and not to mention we got a good backstory for Warbird. Well, that's all I got for this week, everybody. I hope I didn't ramble on too long, and I hope I didn't nerd out too much. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Please subscribe to this channel. And subscribe to my other channel, Blugoblin X. I know I haven't been doing that much on that channel lately. It's just I need to find the time to do it. Follow me on Facebook or Twitter or on Tumblr or all 3. I'll be happy if you do. Thanks again for watching, everybody. And until next time, I'll see you later.